Yes, are you able to view my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we'll continue. So we have started with chapter 2, introducing UML or introduction to UML. So here I was talking about overview of UML. So in the previous class, I was covering about overview of UML. So anyone can tell me what exactly we have learned in the previous class? So overview of UML consists of, first of all, UML is a language. First of all, UML is a language. So you need to talk about the vocabulary, the conceptual models, how this UML is done from the small entrepreneurship things to the larger ones. So we can talk about all the UML language. Okay. And then what are the subheadings under UML language? So language for visualizing. So visualizing, again we had 3 subheadings. That is, what is the first one? Common language. And the second one? What is the second one? Yes, not studying at all. I told you last no. What is the second one for UML is a language for visualizing?
Actual programming language.
Okay, it's at the
Fine.
minute level. Okay, unless we build the models, we may not know what exactly is happening inside. And the third one, documentation is important. So if anyone moves out of the industry or at that team, so they may lose what exactly the intelligence is having. Okay, moving on to the second one, UML is a language for specifying. So what are the specifications we want particularly? That things we have to specify in all the terms of SDLC employees. That is how the analyst, how the designer, how the implementer, how the coder, what are their aspects, how they are viewing that specifications they have to give. And UML is a language for constructing. So under constructing, what we studied, forward and reverse engineering. For every subheading, please remember the key points so that it will be easy for you when you are studying. If you can remember the key points, then easily you can elaborate what exactly we have learned. Forward engineering means model to code.
Data.
Model code, that is forward engineering. And then code to model, that is reverse engineering. And after that, what we learned? UML is a language for documenting. So documentation purpose, all the SDLC starting from SRS to till the testing and the deployment, everything have to be documented. And then what else we learned? We learned about UML.
Which factory it can be used?
Where exactly it is used. So just see the screen. So what things we have learned under overview of UML. First we learned about what is a language. UML is a language for visualizing. UML is a language for specifying, constructing and document. So these are the things what we have learned in the previous class. So today our topic is about the 3 steps to understanding the UML, or it is called as conceptual model of UML. Conceptual model of UML. Okay. It can be asked in any form. Conceptual model of UML or 3 steps to understand UML. So as I told you before in the previous class, in order to learn a language, first we need to learn the alphabets and then combining them based on some rules and semantics. And then we can write words and then paragraphs and then pages and then book. So similarly here also when we go about UML language, first of all we should know some alphabets. Okay, so that is nothing but our 3 steps. So something like the alphabets you remember as 3 steps are the conceptual model. Conceptual model means logical. What exactly the logical things in programming languages? How you are going to show in diagrammatical form. In UML means in a diagrammatical form. The logical aspects, either a class, object, or interface, whatever, the logical aspects you have in programming language, those things you are going to show graphically in UML. Okay. So here, this 3 steps are the nothing but 3 steps are nothing but basic building blocks. The first one, the rules that dictate how these building blocks may be put together, and some common mechanisms. Okay, so once you learn about the alphabets, we'll be learning the 2-letter words, 3-letter words, and so on. So similarly here, our basic building blocks are nothing but the alphabets of UML language. Okay, so once we are perfect with the UML language, so we need to know the rules. What are the different rules? How these building blocks may be put together. Whereas in English, how 2 letters can be put together? If it is articles, prepositions, okay, like conjunctions, or if it is a meaningful word. So likewise, those are the rules for particular language, English. But whereas for UML, since it is a graphical language, what are the rules we have? Which are dictated, which are exactly to be followed in order to keep this alphabets, which are called as basic building blocks, in order to keep keeping together, what is the mechanism or what is the procedure to build the complete model. Okay, so just remember like the alphabets, rules to dictate, and some procedures to write some book or something like that you can remember. Okay, so these are the 3 steps of UML or the conceptual model of UML. It is an very much elaborated topic. So for today, I'm just going to cover with the first one only, basic building blocks. You just see the mouse cursor, follow the mouse cursor. By next class, I'll try to open the documents in whiteboard. I'm just trying to learn. Okay, so for now you just follow the mouse cursor. So today our topic is 3 steps of UML. Under 3 steps, what are the 3 steps? Basic building blocks, rules, and common mechanisms. But only building blocks itself will take this hour. Okay, so now, so moving on to our topic for today. Under 3 steps, the first one is basic building blocks. So that is what we are going to study. Okay, under basic building blocks, even these blocks are again divided. See, in a language, English, we have 26 alphabets. Maybe initially we will be learning all together, A to Z. After that, those letters are discriminated as consonants, vowels, and consonants. So similarly, in this alphabets also, there are 3 things. The vocabulary of UML are divided into 3 kinds of building blocks. So that is nothing but things, relationships, and diagrams. Again, I repeat, basic building blocks are nothing like alphabets for a particular specific language, say English. Okay, they are the alphabets. Alphabets are also again subdivided into like vowels and consonants. So similarly here also, our letters of UML, basic building blocks UML, are divided into 3. So they are things, relationships, and diagrams. Okay. So what are things? So things are nothing but they are the first class citizens in the model. So they have the higher priority. Without these things, without an alphabet, I cannot write a single letter in English. Similarly, without things in UML, I cannot develop any kind of model. So that's why they are called as first class citizens. Okay, and then moving on to this one, just the definitions I am giving and things will go in detail. So relationships. Relationships are nothing but how they are tied together. Okay, so once you have some two words or so, how you tie those two words to make a sentence? Okay, with prepositions. Okay, with articles. So likewise here also we have some relationships. So these relationships are the ones which are going to tie all these building blocks together. And then moving on to the third one. So diagrams group interesting collection of things. So when you have alphabets, words or lines, and group of lines may be becoming the book or a page. So similarly here we have things, how we can keep them together, and many of the things and relationships keeping together to a particular model is nothing but a diagram. So it's nothing but collection of things. It's a group of collection of things. We are grouping in the second one. We are tying two or three things. But tying together two or three things, such things again keeping in a group as an entire one is nothing but the diagrams. Yes, ma, is that clear? Anyone please acknowledge? Is
Yes, ma'am.
audible and you are following?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes,
So now let's continue with the things here. So in basic building blocks, three things, relationships and diagrams. Things are the alphabets. Without that, the language itself does not exist. So similarly, here UML, these things are the first class citizens. First priority is given in a model. Without things, the model won't be existing. And these things can be tied together, put together using relationships. And whatever the things you have tied using 1 and 2 are grouped into the third one, that is diagrams. Okay, so quickly just move on. We'll move on to the things first now. So things in UML. So it's a big hierarchical tree. So I want everyone to follow. And that's why I made clearly the coloring here. So under things in UML. So again, things in UML are again subdivided into 4. Okay, so structural things, behavioral things, grouping things, and annotational things. So when we say about structural things, you can write down. Please maintain a running notes, because the key points I'll be saying when I'm teaching the classes. If you can make a note of those points and if you can emphasize while studying those, then it would be nice and easily you can grab the subject. Okay, so things, coming on to the first one, under things first one, structural things. The name itself, structural. Structural things is nothing but they are like nouns for a particular language. They are like nouns for this UML, and which are static in nature. They are, structural things are nouns and they are static. What do you mean by static? Static, anyone?
No change.
It
No
won't
change.
change. It will be fixed. Nouns, fixed. See, once a person, once the newborn baby infant, when he is named with some name, that name will be fixed. You don't tell me again it will be changed later and all. For now, since we are taking as a fixed one, so that name, whatever is named, 99%, maybe in rare cases you may change it because of the things. But here, whatever it is named, so it is going to be fixed. Or a place, when it is named, so it is going to be fixed. There may be 1% or some decimal chances to change that. But here, in our UML concepts, once it is named, that is fixed, it won't change. So is that clear? Structural things, they are just like nouns. They are like nouns which are static. They won't change. Okay. And then moving on to the second one, behavioral things. Moving on to the next one, behavioral things. So the name itself says that what parts of speech it is? Behavioral things. Behavioral. Verb. Yes, behavioral things are just like verbs. Verbs means action. Action performed. Okay. And when it is action, how can be its state? It is dynamic. Okay. Again, I repeat, behavioral is nothing but the behavior changing. Yes or no? Okay. So behavioral things in the common language English, how do we say? It is, they are verbs. Okay, behavioral things are verbs. Since they are verbs, so they are in dynamic nature. Okay, and then moving on to the third one, grouping things. So grouping itself says that it's like at the higher hierarchy. It's not at the lower level. It's the higher hierarchy. Okay, it's like the organizational level or the institutional level or the directors level. So something like that where we say about grouping things. Okay, it's at the organizational level you can say. And then moving on to the fourth one, annotational. What do you mean by annotation? What do you mean by, maybe you might have attended so many webinars, no? There, the presenter is maximum trying to annotate and explain so that easily the audience will understand.
Elaborate.
Annotation, explanation, ma. In order to make it more explanative, the things what they are going to use, either a pen or a marker or anything. So those things are called as annotation. Annotations we use in a presentation. But here in our UML, annotational means in order to explain what are the things we are going to use. Okay, so these annotational things are explanatory. I want everyone to make a note of these four things. So what I told about structural things, what I told, structural things are nouns which are static. Structural things are like nouns which are static, and behavioral things are like verbs which are dynamic. And grouping things are
Organizational level.
organizational, and then annotational things are explanatory. Okay, so these are the four kinds of things. So, and each one again we are going to study in detail. So each one again we are going to study in detail. So structural things, again, just now as I told you, these are the nouns. You can just make a note again if at all you want. These are the nouns. Okay, nouns, and again they are in 7 in count. Structural things are 7 in count. Okay. So among 7, the first one is class. Among these 7, among the 7 kinds of structural things, the first one is a class. Tell me the class definition, what you might have learned from programming languages.
Blueprint.
Not the definition what you are viewing on the screen, but something what you understood.
It's a collection of objects.
A class is set of attributes or properties, and okay, or the other way we can say a set of objects that share same attributes and operations. Relationship semantics you will be learning in detail. So a class implements more interfaces. What do you mean by class implements one or more interfaces? See, class have some methods, okay, but interface is an
Undefined
method.
methods.
So that abstract method can be implemented using a class. That's why we are saying a class implements one or more interfaces. And graphically, this is important. Graphically, a class is rendered. Rendered means given, represented as a rectangle. As a rectangle. And that rectangle usually will be included its name, attributes and operations. So let's see the graphical representation of a class. So this is the class what we talk about. Okay. So a class is represented like a rectangle with 3 compartments. Okay. So the first window class are nothing but origin and size. And the operations of this window class are nothing but open, close, move and display. May not be the same example you can write in the examination. You can also write your own examples, but not in general. It should be specific to some class. Okay, is that clear? The first one under structural things. Again, I repeat, under things we have 4: structural, behavioral, grouping, annotational. Under structural, we have 7 again. In that 7, the first one is about class. And class graphical representation is this. Okay. The second one under structural things is nothing but interface. Second one under structural things is an interface. So just now I was telling you about an interface. It have only the abstract methods. It will just provide the service, but not the details of the service. Okay. So an interface therefore describes externally visible behavior of that element. Internally it cannot do anything because it has to depend on some class, because only the function definition it will have. Sorry, function signature it will have, not the definition. In order to get the definition, it has to depend on some other class where those methods are written. Okay. So this is the interface, and the interface is represented graphically. It is given as a small circle, and the name of the interface beneath that we can say. So here if you see I spelling. Spelling is the name of the interface preceded with I, capital I. So what do you mean by this capital I? Saying that spelling is an interface, or interface is spelling, and it is represented with the circle. And then moving on to the third one. Third one under structural things is nothing but collaboration. So collaboration is something where a collaborative work, we say, no, teamwork, collaborative work. So similarly here, in order to do some collaborative work, so some elements have to be grouped, and it is going to achieve a task which is bigger than individual one. So that is what the collaboration. So the collaboration given in UML, the representation is dotted ellipse. Dotted ellipse. And how exactly we are giving, say, some collaborative work, chain of responsibilities. Say first one, they maybe when we ask you to give some presentations, maybe team of 5. So the first person will be saying about introduction. Second one is going to continue. The responsibility of continuing the topic until that complete topic is covered. So likewise, as a group, teamwork, what exactly collaboratively you are doing, that name you can give for the collaboration, graphical representation. So graphical representation of collaboration in UML is given as dotted ellipse. And name of that collaboration have to be written within it. Okay. And then moving on to the fourth one. Fourth one under structural things is nothing but use case. So use case is something where set of sequence of actions are carried out. Say example here they are given some placing order. So how exactly you can place a order for a particular item online? So there are some steps you have to follow in a order, in a sequence. So if at all you say first give me the product, then I'll pay, means will the vendors they are ready to give you? No. So there are some sequence of steps to be followed in order to achieve that task. Okay, so that's why we call it as a use case. So let's see the definition of a use case. Use case is a description of set of sequence of actions that a system performs and that yields an observable result of value to a particular actor. Particular actor here means the customer. Okay, and these things, the detailed things I'll tell you once we come into the details of the subject. And then how the use case is represented in UML, it is with solid ellipse. Solid ellipse. You have to write the representation in words and as well as the graphical representation. So this paper, as I told you, though it is theory, it is something logical. I can say that logical is something our graphical representations only. Seeing the headings and the representations graphically what you have drawn there, we can make out what exactly you might have written in the paper. Okay, so it's logical about the diagrams. Okay, so if you know that, you will know this subject. And then moving on to the next one, fifth one is an active class. So active class is just like a class, but whose instances are at that point of time under execution. Then such things are called as active classes. Okay, so if you see here, classes whose objects own one or more processes. One or more processes means they are under execution at that point of time. Then only we can say they are active at that stage. Okay, so active class is just like a class when you are representing, but the outer line is bold. Please make a note of the difference between just active class and active class. Class is just like the active class only, but the main difference, both are same, but representation is the borders are bold here. Whereas for a class, it is just the normal class we draw, but here it is the solid line at the borders. Okay. And then moving on to the sixth one, sixth component, which is the physical replaceable part, which is called as component. Component. So why we are saying physical replaceable part? So some example I'll tell you, easily you can remember what is a component. Say you have CD or you have a pen drive. Okay, so they are physically existing where an individual can touch, but internally it's having some logical things. Yes or no? So it's a physical replaceable part of the system, but independently it cannot exist. A pen drive is a physical part having some logical things in it. Logical things in it means it may have some movie or songs or whatever in the logical format, software format. But can alone pen drive carrying in your hand, can it play the music? What songs are existing in that? No. That's why we say component is a physical replaceable part. You can carry it, replaceable. Carry it, but it is dependent on the system, dependent on the node. So a pen drive have to be connected to a TV. A pen drive can be connected to some device, audio device or video device. It can be connected to a system. Then only you can read the contents in that physical device. Okay, so that is what we call it as component. Okay, so here the component is given as 2 tabbed folder, or here it is given as a component. Graphically, a component is given as rectangle with tabs, usually with its name. So order form.java. So some Java files you are having in a pen drive or in a CD. So that we say it as a component. Okay. And then moving on to the last one of the structural things. So that is node. So usually a node is server, like server in why? Because a server representation you can give physically. Okay. So these last two are called as physical things. Physical means we can touch, feel it and carry it. But whereas the first 5 classes, interfaces, collaborations, use case, active class, can we feel them? Yes, ma'am. Physically,
Yes, ma'am.
can we touch and feel them as a
Yes, ma'am.
human being? Structuring first 5. Yes, anyone respond?
Yes, ma'am.
See, first 5 of structural things, whatever we have: class, interface, collaboration, use case, active class. These are logical things, conceptual things, which we cannot physically touch, which we cannot physically see. They are logically existing, but that logical things also we are giving some graphical representation. But whereas last 2, that is component and node, they are physical things. Okay, so physical means where you can see and touch. Okay, and a node is a physical element that exists at runtime. Runtime means it's nothing like during execution, deployment. Okay, so this order form.java component is there in a pen drive that you want to execute. Now this pen drive have to be inserted to some server. Server means some processing capability system. Memory and processing capability system is called as a server. So when this pen drive is connected to this server, whatever this order form.java is there, it can be run or executed here. That's why we say components are depending on servers. Servers can execute components. Okay, is that clear? So graphically, a node is given as a cube. So and usually by giving the name to it. Yes, ma'am, mute yourself. Someone disturbance is coming. Student, please mute. Everyone. Okay. So structural things we have 7. Okay. And these 7 also again they are divided into 2. That is conceptual.
మ్యామ్ వాయిస్ బ్రేక్ అవుతుంది మ్యామ్ ఇది కూడా.
Hello. See,
Ma'am, voice
from my side, the signal is 100% okay, ma. I'm using Wi-Fi. Is that okay now?
నాకు కూడా మేడం వాయిస్ బ్రేక్ అవుతుంది మ్యామ్ మధ్యలో మీది కూడా.
For me, it's okay, ma. Now, is it okay? Is it audible?
Now okay, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now it's okay.
Okay, you want me to repeat?
Yes, ma'am.
So
Last
briefly I'll tell you again. So whatever things we are learning under basic building blocks, things are divided into 4. Okay, the first one is structural things. What are structural things? They are nouns and the static parts of the system. And these structural things are again subdivided into 2. Okay, conceptual and physical. Conceptual things, the first 5. First 5, I mean to say class, interface, collaboration, use case, active class. All these 5 come under structural logical things. Whereas component and node are the physical things under structural things. Is that clear? So this is what I covered till here. So then moving on to the next thing. What is the next thing? That is behavioral things. So till here what we have covered is structural things. Now we'll be moving on to behavioral things. So behavior means behavioral things are like
Verb.
verbs and they are
Dynamic.
dynamic. They keep changing. Okay, and even these behavioral things are again divided into two primary things. So behavioral things are the dynamic parts of the UML. They are like verbs. So you can just highlight these points or write in your notes. Okay, and 2 primary kinds are there. 2 primary kinds of behavioral things are there. So first one, interaction. So when some communication is going on, how that communication have to be showed in a graphical language. So some message I am conveying you as a lecturer when I am conveying some message to a student. So those things graphically, if at all I want to show, that message I want to show, that we say it as interaction. The first one, interaction. And the symbol is given as solid arrow we say. Okay, graphically a message is rendered as directed line, almost always including the name and name of its operation it's doing. Okay, so the next one
Voice వస్తలేదు.
Breaking.
So it specifies. Second one is
Madam, voice breaking.
state machine.
వాయిస్ బ్రేక్ అవుతుంది మా మధ్యలో.
Oh, no. Okay, I'll disconnect my Wi-Fi and again. Is it okay now? Is it audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay. So under things we have structural things. So done with the structural 7 things. So the second one is behavioral things. So under behavioral things we have 2 again. So interaction and state machine. Interaction we just show it as solid arrow. Okay. And moving on to state machine, it's nothing but the different states, the change of states we are going to show. So what do you mean by a state? First of all, state. The action performed at one particular point of time is called a state. See, you might have studied the life cycle of a process in operating systems. Ideal state, waiting state, running state.
Yes, ma'am.
Process state. So similarly, I mean to that kind of state here. So that different states we can show in state machine at that point of time, what exactly the states of it. and substates also we can talk. But for now, we just concentrate on the state and how exactly it is represented. So, graphically, state is given as rounded rectangle. Rounded rectangle. And by giving the name to it. So, this state represents waiting state. Okay. So, under things, second one, behavioral things, we learned about two, interactions and state machines. And then moving on to the third one, that is grouping things. Grouping things. So grouping is nothing but the organizational parts of the model. So that is what I told you when we started with this. Okay. So under grouping, so what exactly we have logically in grouping in programming languages, where exactly you can get a group of things. It's nothing but a package. Okay. So under grouping things, we have only one primary kind of thing, that is namely packages. It's the general mechanism for organizing elements into groups. Package of softwares are kept in one group. See, when you say import java.awt, import java.io. So what exactly that means? Some package is already existing with some kind of software. So you are just connecting that to your program. Okay, so that's why it is called as it comes under grouping thing. A package comes under a grouping thing. So the graphical representation of a package is rendered as a tabbed folder. So when you are writing, so you should write in words and also the graphical representations. We call it as a tabbed folder. And the name of the tabbed folder, we can write like this. Tabbed folder means a rectangle with one more small rectangle. How the folders will look in our systems, so that way, tabbed folder. Okay, and then name of it, business rules. So that means this folder, this package is consisting of what are all the rules are applied for their particular business are all kept here, packed into a package. Okay, so this is about grouping things. And moving on to the fourth one under things, that is annotational. So as I told you, annotational are already nothing but explanatory parts of the model. They are going to give the explanatory parts of the model. So usually in programming languages, where we use explanatory, for what kind of things we use? Yes, I want anyone to answer.
Annotational.
No. In programming languages, in order to make your program more explanatory, what you use?
Comments.
Comments, yes, good. Comments. So the same thing here. In order to make our models more explanatory, we are going to use annotational things. So in annotational, what exactly we have is nothing but note, N-O-T-E. N-O-T-E. So here there is one primary kind of thing under annotational, that is note, N-O-T-E. It's simply a symbol for rendering constraints, comments attached to any element. And graphically, a note, so this will be a bit laughy. So graphically, a note is rendered as a rectangle with a dog-eared corner. Dog-eared corner. Okay, so that's why that's how we say in the textual language. But graphically, visualization point of view, this is how we have tried. Just a rectangle, and see that one corner of it is folded. So that's how we have to draw. And we are going to make a note. So what exactly you want to say? Written copy of self. So where exactly in a particular diagram, the complete diagram, you want to give some more explanatory things for that. So at that time we write this, and in that we put all the comments or something to make it more explanatory. Okay. So this is what the annotational things. So moving back to the things. Okay, basic building blocks UML. First one is things. So that is what we have learned. Under things we have 4. Structural, behavioral, grouping and annotation. So under structural we have 7. So 7, I just named them: class, interface, collaboration, use case, active class. These first 5 are called logical or conceptual things. And then last 2, that is component and node, are the physical things. Okay, that is under structural things. Moving on to behavioral. Under behavioral, what we learned? Interactions and state machines. Interaction and state machine. And under grouping, it's nothing but the packages. And under annotational, it is note. Okay, so among all these 4, the details of it, if you see, in structural things, the last one is node, N-O-D-E. Okay, which is used at runtime. The last one, it is N-O-T-E, N-O-T-E, note. It is used for comments. So make that difference. Most of the students will do that mistake. Here it is N-O-D-E, node, like a server. Okay, here it is N-O-T-E, it's for comments. Okay. So that is what about the things we learned. So quickly we just move on to relationships and diagrams, and I want to finish these building blocks of UML in this particular session. So now done with the things. So we are moving on to relationships. So again, so coming on to the relationships. So relationships are again divided into 4. Okay, so what exactly are the relationships? Relationships are the ones which keep the basic building blocks together. Okay, so relationships are the basic relational building blocks of the UML, and we use them to write well-formed models. And these are divided into 4. 4 are dependency, association, generalization and realization. So going in detail for each one, the first one is dependency. So what is the general meaning of dependency? When a child is depending on a parent, that is what we say dependency. Similarly here, when when I say 2 things, 2 classes, 2 objects or 2 components or 2 nodes. So when one is depending on the other, then I can relate 2 classes, or anything means this thing can be replaced with any of the things what we have learned. Okay. So when one is depending on the other, so then you can use dependency symbol. When one is depending on the other means when there is a change in one, the change is going to reflect to the other. Okay. Just a minute, ma. JXA SUMV WDA. Okay, sorry for the interruption. So let's continue. So the dependency is when there is change in one class, the other one is going to affect. Okay, quickly I just finished this relationships. Again, I will take up tomorrow's class because it's already 11, 1 more minute. Okay, dependency is nothing but when one is depending on the other. Association means when they are both are in the same level. Then we say association. Generalization means parent-child relationships. That is parent-child relationships where we get in inheritance. So in that case, we use generalization. Realization means how an interface is realized through a class. So likewise, we are going to learn the 4 things. So this is for today as it's time up. So tomorrow again I'll continue with the things. So please wait a minute, all of you. I'll just take attendance. So please all of you learn and come, because these are just like alphabets. Without knowing these basics, I cannot teach you further. Okay, first few minutes I'll be calling by roll number wise. You need to answer. So see to that all of you learn and come. Okay, first few minutes will be question answer session. So please learn and come. I'll be asking. Okay, so